Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the Diz Pod. Hello and welcome, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. You're going to have to tilt now that you're standing so tall, you're going to have to tilt your camera up a little.
Oh, the camera moved. We got all kinds of technical things going on. Anyway, I can sabotage myself. I like to challenge myself. So I'm doing a good job tonight. And it was such a smooth day today. It was such a smooth day. And man, it never fails, right? And what I do, it never fails. It's like the day was going smooth. For me, to see 7 patients is like the max. I saw 8, and they weren't close to each other. You know, some were, but I drove quite a distance today. It was all going smooth, and then the last hour, it all came tumbling down. And it's all about how you work through those things and fix problems and all that stuff. And then, of course, I texted you. I'm like, I'm going to come in on 2 wheels. And you were nice enough to say, you know what, I'll start the members only podcast. And you kind of come in and still didn't get to eat, though. Still didn't get to eat. But we'll do that later. There's a lot of times that we don't. I was thinking maybe I could have, but then we plug in and we have new equipment again here. We've upgraded again and to what's supposed to be some of the best in the industry, but apparently upon going live tonight, I can only hear out of one ear. So if you all say I sound good, then I will trust you on that and listen to myself in mono tonight. But I have you in stereo, so at least they have you.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
They should have me in stereo. They should have me in stereo too. I would think. Hey, let's talk together at the same time. Did that sounded better? That is Lawrence. Hello. Okay, it kind of still. I hate how it mutes us out a little bit. Okay, Theo says Corey is missing. The dome is weird. What's he talking about?
Oh, I think it was.
I don't even have the right shirt on.
Uh-oh, he's not wearing a shirt. I'm wearing my Mickey shirt.
That's because. I like that one. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was new. I just took the tags off.
Did Catherine make that?
No. This was from Kohl's, I think.
Tonight is not a Zoom call night. No, tomorrow is, though, for all of our Zoom callers. So, and I figured I'd wear this one. I figured I'd wear the Stitch one today. It's tropical-ish. We're talking about rain today. And hey, guess what? It hasn't rained in the Disney area in days and days. And that's how winter is supposed to be here. We finally have the winter that I love.
It
So
is. It is currently raining here.
it
So
is.
yeah.
Okay. Alicia says I sound good. I want to know that I sound better than ever. Got the allergy meds under control. We got a brand new mic. Cute shirts, gentlemen, says Ann. I really like the one that Lawrence had. So remind me to talk about the Animal Kingdom shirt during Inside the Parks. I don't know if
The
you remember
Animal Kingdom
that.
shirt.
It was definitely a Lawrence shirt
Oh
when
yes.
we were there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just get frugal. That's the right word, right? Sometimes I just
Mhm.
don't want to let the money out of my hand and pass it to Disney. And it was a nice shirt, though. I look back at it several times. I think chat knows that I really like something sometimes when I look at it quite long,
I
and
I
then
thought
sometimes.
I actually thought at one point you were going to pick it up.
Well, Tammy was encouraging me that way. She's like, this is a you shirt. This is a you
Mhm.
shirt, and of course, chat loves spending our money. Get it, just get it, just get that.
Sure,
So
because they get to look at it and you know, it's not out of theirs. Oh, Alicia says I love the
absolutely.
shirt. Thank you.
I tried to like take a quick peek at any Disney headlines that dropped in the last day or two. I didn't really find anything. Did you come up with anything that just stuck
Well,
out to you?
yeah, the big one for me was the fact that they now can do 2025 bookings, uh, which is kind of early. I mean, it's only February 24, and you can book into 25. And I forget which day it was, but you can, if you book in a Disney resort, you get free admission to the water park on the day of arrival.
So
So
is it only that day?
only that day. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. So let's say that you take a flight that gets you into Orlando at 10 o'clock in the morning. Put your bags down. Baggage service will hold your bags for you until your room is ready. Go to the park. Go to the water park. You know. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see who can take advantage of that. But it's nice to see that there's another perk. And this goes back to the episode we did a couple weeks ago about how will Disney respond to Epic. And I mentioned, I think you're going to see some different perks and incentives come out and discounts. And here's a pretty big one.
Good
You
call.
figure that 60, how much is it to get into that park? $60 maybe, I think, something
Yeah,
like
give
that.
or take. Give or take, I think. Yeah,
So family of four, that's a pretty good savings.
it is. I'm just wondering, I kind of made a face like it's great that Disney's offering that perk because that's something they certainly don't have to do. But why the day of? Like, why not like any day within your stay? I'm just
Mhm,
wondering that. That's kind of
mhm.
odd, like the first day. But, a lot of people travel and, what do a lot of people look to do? I don't think a lot of people look to hit a park after traveling all day. I know for us, when we used to travel and come down, our strategy was we definitely didn't do magic because we wanted to give magic the full day and evening. Geez, I'm trying to remember what we did on day one when we arrived. You know what we did? We treated Epcot like a half day park because the kids were so young. We never really stepped foot in the World Showcase. What a crime!
Mm.
Uh, I think that's what we did. Like, okay, we'll hit Epcot and do the ride side and everything, and we'll begin full days the next day. So that's pretty cool.
It's funny, I
So
just heard about, people treating the parks as half-day parks. I remember what that was, where I read it. Um, but there was a myth that even Hollywood Studios was a half-day park. I'm like, "I don't get how that's a half-day park for somebody on vacation."
It is not a half day park
Yeah.
by any stretch. I mean, we get there at what on Saturdays at like in the 3 o'clock hour. We have a DAS, and we still cannot do every
No.
ride. I
No.
mean, I think if you consider a park a half day park, don't you have to validate that you can do everything in that park? If you can't, then it's not a half day park.
That's what I would say. That's what I mean, even Animal Kingdom really is not a half day park. Is it a shorter park? Yeah, but I don't think you can get it all done in a half day.
No, and if you want to get, more entertainment out of your day, if you do Animal Kingdom, you've got to do one of two things, I think. You've got to do plan on going over to Magic after that, get a
Hmm.
little more park time in, or do Disney Springs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this next trip, we're doing Animal Kingdom and then probably leaving about 5, maybe, and going back to the resort to change because that's our Hollywood after hours event.
Ah,
So,
okay.
um, so it'll be a half day park for us that this next trip. But no, normally we would close out Animal Kingdom. So yeah, I don't see that any park really is a half day anymore.
No, no, no. Unless you treat it like if Epcot is if for some reason you don't like the World Showcase, which we
Mhm.
didn't. I mean, maybe people with young kids just are like we were and don't bother so much with the World Showcase, and then Epcot is a half day park
Yeah, but
pretty
now you
easily.
have Remy's and Frozen Ever
Mm.
After. So even for kids, I don't know that I would skip the World Showcase. Maybe you walk quickly through Morocco or Italy, but you've got some good stuff to do over there.
No, you're right. And the interesting point is when the kids were younger, there was no such thing as Frozen uh, or Remy's,
Yeah,
so there wasn't a ton of reason to go over there for us.
yeah. I think
But
that's
if
really
I
changed that park for sure.
hmm Good moves for sure. I think every park, if space allowed, should have a ride.
Hmm. Yep.
Oh, and the Mexico ride too, says Anne. Yep.
Yeah.
Jen W likes to go to multiple parks. I know what my must dos are. That's a good way to do it too. Go do all your must dos. Bounce,
Yep.
bounce, bounce. Uh, do we think that we're doing a 4 park challenge this year?
Um, I was hoping so. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be here. I'll be here. We just have to get you here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. We just have to kind of decide on what the parameters are going to be. So I think we'll switch it up a little bit. Good thing is we can park up at any time, so we can start it earlier. But if you think about it, we really did get it all done in 12 hours. So as long as we still have 12 hours, we should be good.
Yeah, sounds good to me. So you said you had some material to kick us off for the rainy day tips.
Yeah. So Corey came up with this. Was it a week ago?
I
Yeah.
did just based on what we were living
Hmm.
a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks
I
ago.
think we were set to go do Mardi Gras again, and my thought was if we go to Universal today, the rain is so heavy in the forecast that we have a chance of okay, first of all, you have to look at what Universal is like for streamers, and you can't ride most rides, so you can't share that experience. You can only shop so much. And what are we really there for that day? We're there for the Mardi Gras parade and work in some Mardi Gras foods.
Right.
And I just really had a gut feeling that they might cancel this parade, and that would really stink.
Yeah.
It would kind of be a wasted trip. So I made the call to switch to Magic because I thought Magic was the best park to be in if it's going to rain all day. I guess we can dive into that. And what parks to maybe switch out and avoid.
Hmm.
when it rains?
So for me, as I was preparing for this, I had to think about the experience of being at Disney in the rain because Corey's experience is going to be different from mine, and mine is going to be different from somebody who's there on that once a week or, um, once a lifetime trip, right? So if you're there for 5 days and you're doing a park each day and maybe doubling up magic, then you kind of just have to, if it was me, you kind of just have to go for it, right? You're going to have to do Disney in the rain. Now, Corey and even like Neil, right? Neil lives there. He can see the fireworks from his house. So can Victor. They could decide, well, it's going to rain tonight. We're not going to go out. We'll stay home. But people that are on that once a year trip, once a lifetime trip, they don't have a choice. So this is kind of where I was going in my research of this was to decide, do you have to do it? And if you have to do it, what do you do in that case when it does start to rain? Because Disney World's in Florida, does tend to rain. But the question is, little light rain or hurricane? Because that's going to be different too. So obviously we all have, our phones. We can all check the weather app and make sure to watch the radar. Because if it's going to pass pretty quickly, there's a lot of things, and we'll talk about them. There's a lot of things that you can do to keep your day moving while you're there. So the summer months now, this winter was pretty different for Corey, but the summer months, you're always just about going to get a midday storm, right? It's going to happen. The winters are normally pretty good, except this was an anomaly this year, and they had a lot of rain down in Florida. So as Corey said, he went to Magic because he thought that was the best park to do in the rain. And that was why is that the best park for you in the rain?
Magic for me is I look at what has the most coverage, and when I was looking around, I think it was online earlier, just to kind of see what other people have written. One person said the best park to do in the rain is Epcot.
I heard that.
No. Why? What are you thinking? But we can get to that. So Magic for me, and I think we pulled it off really well on Saturdays, was, you walk up Main Street. You can travel on Main Street from store to store without going outside.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Take your time in there. You only have to cross the street, if you want to get to the other side. And once you come out, once you head to a land, we can go land by land. We can go Tomorrowland, and Monsters Laugh Floor is right there. You can spend a little bit of time. You could spend 30 minutes in Monsters Laugh Floor.
Mm-hmm.
Crew It Up says the best area to do in the rain is Disney Springs.
He likes to spend money in the rain, apparently.
Yes. I mean, especially great if you want to stand in line for those Gideon's cookies. So you can do that, and you can easily move over to Buzz without exposing yourself to the rain much. And then you can jump over to Carousel of Progress. And then as long as there's no line outside for Space Mountain, you can do that. So that's a lot you can navigate with right there. And that's, of course, assuming that you're not getting a pouring rain.
Right.
Pouring rain is something different, which we did anticipate for Saturday, but it didn't happen. So we were able to navigate. And it's really your preference as far as rain gear goes. You can use the umbrella or you can use the poncho. We started with ponchos when we first lived here, but I started to find that the rain would drip and soak the bottom half of my legs, which would drip into my shoes and my sneakers. So we switched up to umbrellas, and I barely get wet. 2 weeks ago, people probably wouldn't believe, there were very minimal times that we got wet. If we did, it was kind of voluntary, like, it's sprinkling. I'm not going to put the umbrella up. I'll get a little bit wet, but I'm not going to get soaked. And times I had the umbrella up, we never got wet. And I walked around in my Crocs that day, and I credit the umbrella too. I just must have avoided the puddles because my feet are partially open
Hmm.
in those shoes, and I didn't get wet most of the day. I didn't even feel it. So until we get to the parking lot, that was a whole different story. We all got to the parking lot, and it was puddle after puddle, and we were all soaked. But so after you do Tomorrowland, you got to do a little traveling over to. You could even do teacups in the rain. That would be probably fine.
I have done
And
teacups in the rain.
yeah, and then you're undercover again. You can do Pooh. You probably would avoid Mine Train, but you can pop over to Philhar Magic. You
Yep.
can do Peter Pan. You can jump over Really Close Neighbor, Small World. Haunted Mansion's a short jaunt from there.
Hmm.
And then from there, it's a little bit of a walk, but it's not gonna. Assuming it doesn't rain the whole time too, or it just light rain, you can easily make your way over. You're not gonna do Big Thunder in the rain unless you don't mind getting wet.
Yeah.
And you could do Pirates. There's a lot that you could do, and you can simply just book a sit down meal that day if you don't have one already, and that'll keep you out for a couple of hours as well. Maybe look at the radar, see where the heaviest rain is predicted, and right from there you can just take up some time and go eat when it's going to be at its worst. What's up, Cliff Flicks in the chat? He says the mic sounds great. Thank you so much. You've made my night, Cliff. You know what, Cliff? The weird thing is, and if so, I'm going to tell Cliff quick.
Hmm.
Cliff, I have a new Focusrite interface, and I can't hear all of a sudden in my right ear, but I can hear everything in the left. I can hear Lawrence perfectly in stereo. I can only hear myself when I talk through the mic through the left. I'm going to give you that job to work on that. But thank you. Thank you very much. It does sound really good in this ear.
So,
Sounds incredible tonight, Corey. Oh, I love it. Radio quality now.
so that's a great layout of magic and
How
how
to
to
do
do
it.
magic in the rain because there's a lot of activity. I mean, you even skipped Hall of Presidents right before you go to Haunted. Hit Hall of Presidents. There's a good 20 something minutes that you're in there. So you have some really good ways to dodge the rain, and I think eating is another one. You could do a quick serve, depending on, like Corey said, watch the radar, and if it's just gonna be a quick moving storm, do something quick, or check, and if it's time for a sit down dinner, go ahead. I mean, Crystal Palace, you could take some time in there, meet some characters, and really maximize that time. So I don't think that you necessarily have to forego going to a park in the rain. And in a lot of ways, it actually helps you because it will keep a lot of people out and your wait times will go down. The day before a hurricane and the day after a hurricane are some of the best wait times in the parks. So, and I've done that. We did that. I don't remember if that was last September, but we drove to the parks. I guess it was 2 years ago. Drove to the park in the hurricane from here. Like it was heading here, it had hit Florida, and it was heading north, and we headed south, and so we met the hurricane in South Carolina, and Catherine
Ooh.
drove through the storm to get there. And once we got there, it was great.
Yeah. We missed one, and that's a good one. Michelle Hollensteiner said Hall of Presidents.
Yep. Yep. You'll lead
So
up at least 20 minutes, in Hall of Presidents. And it's nice and comfortable. You're sitting down. So for sure, that's great. So we were going to talk about what you would need to bring. So Corey does umbrellas. You can certainly do ponchos, but not all ponchos are created equal. So if you're going to do ponchos, make sure that you get some good ones. We have emergency ponchos, and that was terrible. The Disney ones are better, but then we have the ones that we bought on Amazon that are thicker quality. and they were pretty good. Although Catherine has now said that she likes umbrellas better. Because we got
Oh,
caught in a terrible downpour, and she was uh, dry from head to about thigh, and then all the water dripped from the poncho onto her dress, and then into her shoes. So you do need to think about that. So I have Neil would be happy. I have Skechers that are water resistant, and I have worn them in the park, and they are pretty good.
pretty good. So without stepping in a puddle, do you feel like you're very, very dry in those?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Now they are a little heavier, but my feet did stay, my socks and my feet stayed dry in those, so I was pretty happy with that. Now I wasn't expecting like hurricane force rain, but it was a decent rain that day, and I my feet were dry. So so that's umbrellas. Um, and shoes, or you can do Crocs or sandals like Corey has mentioned.
It's incredible, you know, in my line of work that I would ever suggest Crocs for anyone to wear anytime at all. But this is the reason why I asked. This is where I started wearing Crocs in Disney when it rains. We were in Animal Kingdom, and they had come out with a pair of Crocs that had Mickey on them, and they were brown to kind of match up with Animal Kingdom, I guess.
Mhm.
So for whatever reason, I was like, these are pretty cool. They were mesh on top. I'm like, this could be something good for the rain. And I wore them, and I wore them so much I wore them out. But they were comfortable. They really do support the bottom of your foot.
Mm.
Maybe not so great at the ankle, but I never slip. And if you happen to step in a puddle, it's no big deal because, you're kind of in a half quarter sandal or something.
Yeah,
They're meant to be wet, so it's okay. But, Jacob, Jacob and Jill don't really care about their sneakers getting wet and soaked. It's nasty.
my, I have an uncle. We went to DC. This was years ago, and we got caught. We were sightseeing, and we got caught in a storm. And he's wearing kind of mesh sneakers, and it was so bad he just took them off, and he was walking around DC barefoot in the rain.
Wow.
Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend that. I don't know that Disney would say anything to you if you did that, but I would not recommend that. So just be prepared. Just be prepared.
There are rides that will close down uh, for rain. Are we certain on that? Is it more of lightning in the area, or do rides actually close down because of the rain?
I think it's more lightning based. I don't think it's rain. Um,
That's what I think.
I don't know about Test Track. I know, Big Thunder, I've seen it in the rain. We know we've seen Seven Dwarfs running in the rain. Um, I don't know that I've seen anybody do Test Track in the rain. Test Track goes down pretty often anyway.
Yeah, you just don't know. It does. When it's raining, test track does go down very often. Uh, so that one might just be one that does shut down for rain only because there's not a lot of lightning this time of year, thunder here,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure it's done that in the winter where there's really no threat of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So your
but
experience will change, in the rain. So you do have plenty of rides that will go down, and that's going to shift some of the weights to indoor rides. But again, because most people will stay at the resort or go to Disney Springs or go to eat, then some will even do resort hopping. Hop on the monorail and go see the Poly and go see Grand Floridian. So the parks will start to empty out a little bit. So your experience will change, some negative and some positive. So you just have to balance whether you would want to do it or not.
I think too many people head for the exit too quick.
I agree. I
Too
agree.
fast.
Yep.
Too fast. I'm glad they do because I stay.
Yeah.
But it's too fast and it's like, wow, okay, everybody has their own different reasons, but just in general, like you just paid a lot of money to come here and you're going to give up that quickly? Not
Right.
me.
Yeah. I'll be there. We've done it through the rain. We did one year where it rained so bad and I wasn't really prepared. I had sneakers on that were kind of mesh. And we got back. We were at a Verbo that time. We got back and I had to put them in the dryer because they were just soaked, absolutely soaked. And honestly, if I would have thought, so we had just done Space Mountain and we did Rider Swap at Space Mountain. Uh, and then we went into the store and we were in the store and it started to rain and it lightened up a little bit. And I said, oh, we can make it to the next one before, it gets worse. And we didn't even make it to um, teacups and the sky opened up and we were absolutely soaked. And then had I just waited maybe 20 minutes in that store, it would have passed and we wouldn't have been soaked. So again, watch the radar and decide, do you want to take the chance or not? There's plenty of places to hide. Um, Certainly, like we said in Magic.
I don't think I really can't come up with a story that we got drenched
Mm,
ever. There has to be one though. I wish Tammy was in chat. But so David Nessie says one thing to look out for at MK in the rain: the wood bridge near Sleepy Hollow is slick, almost busted in flip flops. Yeah, there are slippery areas
yeah.
in the parks. I feel like you've got the World Showcase has some slippery areas too. The bridge where they bring
Mm,
in the barges and all that too can be slippery. And so if you're going to wear flip flops, and this is non sponsored, Tammy said this on the live stream on Saturday night. One of the best things about Javianas, which there's a store right there in Disney Springs, is they are non slip. She has never slipped in her Javianas in all the wet miles she's logged in in the parks. She has never slipped with her Javianas on. So that's something to think about too. If you really want to do flip flops and be safer, just drop by Javianas if you don't own any. And, they are pricey for flip flops, but they're
hmm
worth it because they don't wear out. With the rubber that they're made with, they don't wear out in one summer or even a year.
mm,
She's had hers for like 6 years, she said, which surprised me too. But she said she's had them for 6 years and they haven't even worn down at all.
mm. That's
Those
good
flip
to know.
flops are too fat for Gen W. They hurt her feet. Yeah, you just can't do flip flops if your feet can't handle them, for sure.
Now we talked about rides that close down for the rain or thunder or not thunder but lightning. So if you happen to have a Genie Plus for that ride and it does go down, they will give you a redemption lightning lane, so you can use it later, or you can use it on a different ride. It's going to change. It's going to vary what rides you can use it on, but you do have that option, so you don't have to worry about missing out on that. Um, Other experiences that will change are the fireworks. So fireworks and parades do change. So, for example, in Magic, um, they will not run the Festival of Fantasy parade in pretty heavy rain, which makes sense. You have performers out there. So, what they do instead is they do a rainy day cavalcade, short little version of a parade. You have maybe two cars worth of princesses or characters that'll do the parade route. Fireworks will almost always go off in the rain, but there is a B mode of Luminous. Have you seen that, Corey?
No. Wait a
Yeah,
minute. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. No, I heard of it.
You heard of it? Okay.
Explain it.
So so Luminous can go off even if there is heavy wind, and they will just not have fireworks. You won't have any pyro, but you have the water, you have the lights, you have the lasers, that kind of stuff. Very different to see that show without any of the fireworks, especially that show in particular. But um, they've, I think, done that twice since Luminous was since Luminous debuted on December 5th. So sometimes you'll have that experience, but almost, always, unless it's lightning, they're still going to run the fireworks. Phantasmic will not run in the rain because you have too many performers out there on that stage that could get hurt. So they do not run. But other than that, your experience will change a little bit, but I don't think it's enough for me personally to change my plans. And we go quite often to the parks. And I still don't, like Corey said, you're spending money to be there. You had to go there, you had to drive or fly or whatever to get there. I say still go for it.
Yeah, you can certainly still get it done, and you can learn from watching us over the years. The rain has never stopped us from going to Disney. There's been times where we've looked at it. I can think of a time, I think it was even last year, where we started a Saturday stream at like 5, maybe, because it was just downpouring so much, and we knew that it was going to do that, and then let up. We felt like the best call would be to leave the house a little bit later and then start the stream. So that worked out pretty well. I feel like Florida is pretty good with. I think the apps are really good for predicting the weather and when it's going to start and stop. Do you feel that way?
I do. Yeah.
I feel like you can count on it.
Yeah, especially recently. I mean, you have a lot of the apps will say rain ending in 12 minutes. And then sure enough, on an average, it ends about when they say. So yeah, I think the apps have gotten much, much better. So I would certainly say you can rely on them pretty well.
That's a good suggestion for everybody that's listening and watching as well. Make sure that your phone has a good radar app on it and weather app. The radar is nice too because you can kind of look at that if it looks like, even if it's downpouring and people are fleeing for the monorail or whatever park they're at. Look at the radar. You might see that this is radars don't lie usually. So hey, this is going to end in about an hour. So let's go do one of those things. Let's go get some food, or let's go to Carousel of Progress and check out some other things. David in SC says, do you remember the time that you were streaming near the castle in the heavy rain? Everyone started crowding you and you could not budge. Yes. As a matter of fact, I just pulled that for the documentary film. I went searching for some bad weather streams that we've done, and I'm pretty certain that'll make it into the final documentary film because there's some crazy moments that have happened. Did you watch that clip? Did you watch that piece I sent you at all when I found it the other day?
Yeah.
So I said this the other night, though, I think, but I definitely submitted this for the film. Who remembers the night this is 2 years ago in the summer when I started the stream from the car, and we sat in the car for about 40 minutes. And I made myself laugh on the playback because I said, hello, everyone, from the Magic Kingdom parking lot. As you can see, the weather is atrocious, and we just cannot get out yet. And so I figured we'd start the stream from the car. Let's get to our sponsors because I have a lot planned from the car. So finally, I made a play for it. It was still raining fairly hard, and I got out. I'm walking about 2 minutes through the Magic Kingdom parking lot, holding an umbrella and a gimbal, and got the loudest crack of thunder and flash of lightning. And I was like, there's no turning back now. So I just had to go for it. And my reaction's kind of good too. So anyway, yes, we've done some rainy stuff, and Hannah says she loves the streams in the rain.
So you spoke about reading that Epcot was the best park to do in the rain. I disagree, but I see where they were going. Um, so there were a few of them that I've read about this, and they've said the land is a great place to be because you have 3 attractions and a sit down restaurant and a quick serve restaurant all under one roof. So if you think about that, if you had a storm that was going to pass in about an hour, you could sit down, go to oh, I just
Seasons,
forget. Thank you.
sunshine seasons.
Yep. Seasons.
Yeah.
Hit the land, go watch Awesome Planet, grab a Soarin', and then you should be, if it's going to be about an hour, you should be done and be able to keep moving. The other one they mentioned was the seas, because again, you have Finding Nemo, you have um, Turtle Talk with Crush, and then you have the huge aquarium in there. You could spend a lot of time in there without leaving that building. So again, depending on how much time the storm is going to take to pass, you could miss quite a bit of it. So you just got to play that little bit of a game. Um,
Oh,
Now I don't know about
okay.
animal. Animal's not one that I would think of.
So I think so far we've given the one of the best ways to do magic, and that is the best way to do Epcot. Animal Kingdom. Let's save that one for last because that'll be a challenge one. I
Okay.
want to see if we can come up with a solution for every park.
Dana,
So
we are live. Hello. Um, you are coming to us from Facebook.
she
So
is. That's pretty cool. She
yeah,
doesn't see any comments.
that's why, because she can't. If she's in Facebook, she can't see the YouTube comments.
Okay, Dana, jump over to the channel and then you can see all the comments. Love that you're here though. And yes, we are live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Uh,
so for those of you that don't know, we are currently live streaming to two different YouTube channels, two different Facebook channels, LinkedIn, and Twitch.
we're twitching. Do we
Yeah,
have anybody on Twitch this time? I know you said there was 0 listens and views
or
on
zero.
Twitch.
Twitch is not a place for podcasts, but here we are. And we
Stupid,
were on
stupid kids.
we were on Instagram for a while, but Instagram decided it didn't like us, so it stopped. But venture, we're trying all sorts of stuff, folks.
Yeah, we're trying everything. We're trying the shorts. The shorts might be working. It might
Mhm.
be working to some degree.
To some degree, yeah. Yeah.
We'll keep doing it. Am I confusing anybody at this point that's listening, live or watching live? Am I confusing people by going live in the vertical mode and kind of giving a preview for what's to come? That's purely us trying to get people who don't know who we are in the shorts feed who flip around. We can come up in it. And if they
Mhm.
see it and they're like, oh, I can see Disney live, let me jump on that. We're
Right.
hoping to grab some people on that. Anne watches the shorts. Yes. I love Anne for all that support. The Donald Duck short is my favorite. Oh, that is, you know what? The Donald Duck short is, I wonder if I submitted that for the film, if we could use it. Yeah, I got to check my notes and see if that's been submitted because I'm proud of myself too on that one because on the fly on the listen or watch back, I think I have really good feedback back to Donald, which helps it
Yes.
to be funny.
Absolutely.
And proud of myself for that, spur of the moment kind of thing.
Mhm.
Donald was hilarious. If you guys have, there's nobody's seen that, go back to our shorts page on YouTube and check out the Donald Duck one. He literally goes over to a table and the people had just left beside us and he picks up the check and he starts like backhanding the check. And I'm like, what's up, Donald? What's going on? They didn't pay? And he's like, no. And it just goes on from there. And Donald was so funny. He was so funny. So yeah, if you like Donald Duck, I've built from there on out, I've built a good rapport with Donald.
Mhm.
I always ask him if he's gonna throw a fit today.
Mhm.
Usually he answers me. Got to check in with Donald, keep him calm. Speaking of calm, I came in last night to the house playing. So iTunes does, or Apple Music does, a separate app for classical. Came in
Oh.
listening to some classical. I was listening to some classical on the way home. Came in, made my lunch, and Tammy had some candles on in the kitchen, and so the lights were kind of dim, but enough. I had enough light where I could make my lunch for the next day and all that. And I just said to her, "This calms me down." She's like, "Really? Oh, okay." But it does. I like listening to that calming
Mm-hmm.
music now and then. I think it helps you relax. So our third park is Hollywood Studios. All right, Lawrence, we've arrived to Hollywood Studios and it's raining.
Well, we didn't arrive there by the Skyliner then, because almost always that's going to be closed during the rain, which
You
makes
drove the
sense.
rental.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
drove my car.
For me,
You're dead in the water as on arrival.
yeah,
I mean, not dead in the water, but you'll have your umbrella, hopefully. You'll be prepared. But
right.
you have some shops. You could do the shops a little bit. But take me where you would go after that. All of a sudden, you're in what I would call the hub. Where are you going?
So you have a couple stores there, right? So if it's going to pass, I'd probably quickly run into the store. Maybe the one on the right as you come in, not the
So Sunset.
well, no, before you get to the long one.
Oh, okay.
There.
Well, that's the dark room, right?
The dark room, right?
The dark room goes all the way down.
Goes all the way down, because the other one, I don't feel like it has this. It's not as long, and it doesn't have as much merchandise. Is that Mickey's of Hollywood on that side?
It's Mickey's of Hollywood, but I think that's like an optical illusion. I think they're the same length.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you come out of the corner of Mickey's of Hollywood and look across the street, I think you're lined up with Starbucks.
All right. I just don't think it has enough. I don't think it has as much merchandise as the other one does, the dark room.
It's constructed differently too. It's like that. Mickey's of Hollywood is one big room where the other side, the dark room, has separated rooms with
that's true.
Open, wider doorways.
Now,
but you could jaunt.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say you could jaunt over to the Star Wars store and Marvel over there too.
Right. And we have done Sunset Boulevard in the rain and had to go through that. You do have a nice long store on that side, so you can eat up some time there. Rock and Roller Coaster is a roller coaster, but it's indoors, so you don't have to worry about that one shutting down. You also have Lightning McQueen back there, and then Tower of Terror. I've never done Tower of Terror in the rain. Have you?
I'm going to say yes. I don't remember specifically, but I'm pretty sure I have done it in the rain, which is pretty neat.
Somebody had just asked yesterday, was it better to do Tower at night or in the daytime, or which do you prefer? Like, I think I prefer it in the daytime. I think you see more. And I think also the sensation of when the doors open, it's bright, and then they close, and it goes back to dark. Whereas if it's at night, then it's kind of the same sensation. But I don't know. I have to do it at night. Well, we will do it at night when we do after hours. We'll do it at night. So I'll get to see it.
There's plenty of rides where I can answer that right away. What I think is better in the daytime or nighttime, like the TTA is better at night, which is why I kind of hold on to that one. But Tower, yeah, you can see further out. I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on that one, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it matters to me one way or another on that one.
Well, we will get to do Tower in the daytime the day before on that Tuesday of our trip, and then the Wednesday of our trip is the Hollywood After Hours. So we'll do it at night. So I'll get to see them both within the same trip. So I'll be able to tell you. Now the rest of the park for me, I feel is a struggle in the rain, because I mean, you could certainly eat up some time and Rise, but for me, it's from getting from one to the other, because Hollywood feels very disjointed from the way Magic is. So for me, I think that would be a struggle. If you are leaving Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and you want to go to Toy Story, you got a long walk in the rain. If you want to go the other way, maybe you hit Muppets and then you get to Star Wars, but you still have quite a bit to walk. In fact, I remember one time it rained, we were at Hollywood and the sky just opened up and we went into ABC commissary, but so did everybody else. I mean, you couldn't find one single seat in ABC commissary. And Catherine can correct me. Either we were sitting and had two other people that we said, no, come and sit with us, or the opposite happened. But you just, it was slam packed because you were right in the middle. And where were you going to go? Unless you were going to go to the Frozen show, you were kind of stuck. So that one for me is kind of tough. You do have little pockets where you can kind of get out of the rain.
Yeah, and Dana says some of the rides have outdoor queues at least for the first chunk. Food for thought.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like you go over to Toy Story Land and Slinky. I feel like Slinky, there are parts that are outside, and it's like part of that has a roof too. But I feel like you could still get wet, possibly in the waiting under the roof for that. And swirling saucers is the same, right? You could be exposed. The hallway or the two walls that lead to
Yeah.
it in areas too you're right there exposed
Yeah.
to where the rain could come through too. So that's a little tough. Galaxy's Edge is totally wide open. I mean, Galaxy's Edge is a lot like Animal Kingdom. I mean, if you think about it, there's Smuggler's Run, which is indoors if you can get there, and Rise. It depends on how busy Rise is. You're not going to do Rise if it's a 140-minute wait because you'll be outside for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then between the pre-show and the transport, you're outside also, right?
Yes, I didn't even think about that. You are. Yeah, the Falcon, Dana. The Falcon.
Yeah, so yeah, it can be the Falcon actually, you've got a long queue in there, so if it was a longer wait, you'd be okay in there. Just depends on how many of us would wait, an hour for Falcon. Just depends.
Mm-hmm. And everything just seems spread out enough. You also have Muppets and Star Tours. You could kind of do those two together. That transition between Muppets and Galaxy's Edge as well, if you have to, there's a huge tunnel there that you can just
That's true.
sit and wait there for a little bit. Yeah, I'm hearing static too all of a sudden.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Just random.
I just asked Catherine. Do you want to bounce out and come back in? All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so and in Hollywood, there's less restaurants, so I think it's tougher to do a sit-down dinner there to beat the rain because you only have so many. And I think with all of those, you would have to have reservations. I don't think you're going to get a walk up. Now, maybe if people cancel because of the rain, maybe you have a chance at it. But I think your best bet of that would probably be Hollywood and Vine. I think you're going to walk up to Brown Derby even in the rain and get a seat. I don't know.
I moved you.
That's all right.
All right, we're better now. I was listening. I heard you back, and you were crackling to me, but I was like, am I crackling? So glad the chat let us know that for sure.
Yeah. I was talking about sit-down dinners at Hollywood and just trying to figure out where you could eat some time there. Eat, as a pun. Some time there, and I think Hollywood and Vine is probably your best bet for that. Maybe 50s prime time. But the other restaurants are going to be so hard to get into. I think even in the rain, you're not going to have that chance.
Hollywood and Vine is big too, so you have a pretty good chance of getting in there, I think.
Yeah.
And it's a buffet, so
right.
I don't know. I can't get out of a buffet in under 2 hours. So you could be there for a little bit for
Hmm.
sure.
Now I'm
And
hungry for a buffet. Thanks.
Ann says you might get a one or two person walk up, but not for a larger group. I
Yeah.
know. Uh, Hollywood and Vine has been on my mind so much lately. I just don't want to drop the 250 it'll cost to. Yeah, well, but then again, we can. Jill doesn't care for the buffets, so
Mm,
maybe we can go on a non-Jill day and save a little bit. Yeah, I think that could be in our near future. It would be good to do soon.
yeah. I don't think we're doing
Um,
any buffets this time. We're doing the Disney dining plan for the first time. Um, but I didn't book this. It's very weird for me not to know what the plans are, but
yeah, kind of
yeah,
crazy, right?
it is.
Sarah Dash says, "Drop the 250. Let's go." Yeah, we'll see if I can do that one pretty soon. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, the ladies want to see your shirt. You have to stand up.
Oh, I see that.
It was really just Jennifer L, but it's but she did say, "Wait, that's a great shirt, Jennifer L. I really, really like it." Let's see what Dana said. Let's check in with Dana. She says, "Corey, remember that horrible rainstorm you were live at Magic Kingdom during the pre-fireworks? You were so wet and people were pushing and shoving you and rolling over strollers with you." Yes. Yes, absolutely. And like I said earlier, that's something that I've submitted to be in the documentary film. It has to be shown. The rain was nuts and the crowd was nuts. I couldn't go anywhere if I wanted to
Mm,
at that point. I could not go anywhere. And I can remember I watched further along that stream for a little bit. And I actually was like, you know what? Forget this. I can't get any wetter. We're going
mhm.
on Splash Mountain. So I went to Splash right after that. Corey, wait till you see the button down at Flower and Garden for 125. You will love it. Okay, Ann. Yikes. I wonder if that's a result shirt.
I
Are they
would
selling results?
no. I don't know that I've seen them at the parks, but that price, I mean, ooh,
I
okay.
know. Dana says she thinks I was backed up against a tree. No, there are no trees in the direct center of the hub. I was just backed up against people. I, I said something funny too that could have been taken the wrong way. I can't remember what it was.
Hmm.
Can't remember what it was.
You
Can't
said
remember.
something funny that was taken the wrong way? No.
Go figure. Go figure, right?
No.
I'll have to go back and listen. I'm like, you stepped on my, and I didn't say anything after that. I don't even know what it was. I
Hmm.
don't know. It was something. Oh, she said
Yeah,
it was there today.
the Roosevelts are normally 80, about 80 or so. So that would be, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Oh, is that what it's called? Roosevelt? I call it like result, but probably not. Maybe
I
it's not
think it's
result.
Roosevelt. We'll ask Mr.
Let's go
Morrow.
ask Nate.
Yeah.
You were so miserable. You were like, do it for the stream. Yeah. Yeah. Uh huh. Yep. That's my dedication.
Yeah,
Yep.
we looked at the weather before or as we've been getting closer to our trip coming up because we have a lot of Disney bounding plans. So we wanted to make sure that everything would be pulled off okay. And so I think there's one day, it might be that Monday that we're there, there's like an 80% chance of rain, but that's not a park day. So we'll be at Springs and we'll make it work. Hopefully it rains earlier in the day before we get there.
What's your arrival date again?
The 11th?
Oh, that weather, could be totally different by the time
Mhm.
you get here. I
Mhm.
mean, it could change from the morning to the afternoon. You never know.
Yep.
But it's still nice to look
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
try to get an idea, maybe.
To get an idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Animal Kingdom. That's the ultimate challenge. So you enter Animal Kingdom. I still get lost in Animal Kingdom. Not really lost, but it really takes me a moment to plan where I'm going next, and I do it on stream too. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, what's the fastest way to Pandora from here? It's it's just not a park that's uniform at all.
No. I think they
Uh,
have it down, no, to some degree, right? You come in, you make a left, you make an extreme left, and that gets you to Pandora. If you make
Yes.
the first left, that takes you to Africa. The right takes you to Asia. So I think for the most part, I have it. Now the details after that, there's little pockets, there's little side trails. I'm like, whoa, where's that go? Like you guys did one the other day. I think when you were going to see might have been when you're going to see the kangaroos. I was like, I don't even know where they are.
Yes. So basically, if you walked up to the Tree of Life and you stayed along that fence going left, you would run into the kangaroos around the corner.
Got it.
And
Got it.
yeah. Dana says, have either of you experienced a weather related park evacuation? No. The closest thing to like bad weather and us being at the park was, oh, help me out, Sharon, on the name of the hurricane that came straight up Central Florida, and it was said to be the worst in history, which we were here for. But living in Central Florida, we're lucky.
Mhm, mhm.
There was really no damage in our area. So we went. That happened on Sunday night when that hurricane hit us. Saturday, we were like, let's go to the park. We almost didn't, but we're like, why? Why are we staying home? This thing doesn't hit till tomorrow. So we went and we got some great pictures too. I'm talking the darkest clouds
Mm,
over the castle, and there was like nobody there. The wind had started. I can remember waiting in line for mine train, and it was a significant breeze, but we got to do anything we wanted to. The
right,
park was dead.
right.
So if you're on vacation, hit that park until that hurricane comes. Oh, Irma. Was it Irma? Okay.
Mm.
Thanks, Pamela B. Oh, Irene. Maybe it was Irene. I don't know. Maybe I think it was Irma though. That was scary.
Mm.
That was scary.
Yeah, I think the one thing for me, like a lot of people will say, well, I'll just make it a resort day. All right, if you're staying at Old Key West, which has some space, I mean, that's bigger than an apartment for a lot of people, and you've already got food planned and you're hanging out with a lot of family. All right, then maybe you make that a resort day and you flip, your park day or something like that. But I don't know if you're just staying in that Caribbean beach or All Star, I don't think I would say, no, I'll make this a resort day. I think I'd rather be at the parks than sitting in a 300 square foot hotel room.
I was trying to think though, is you might know this better than me, and I don't know. It certainly happens when there is life-threatening weather that Disney will entertain at the resorts inside.
I've
Now
only
it's near.
heard of it when the parks are closed
Okay. So that
for the
doesn't
bad
happen
weather.
when you've got, like a bad rainy weekend like we had a couple
Mm,
weeks ago.
I don't think so. I
Hmm.
don't think so.
Courtney, I said. Courtney says, we experienced an evac when we were at Fort Wilderness right before Hurricane Ian hit, but we left the day before.
Well, we had that trouble um, the time that we drove to Disney the day after Florida got hit with the hurricane. Um, so we were in Old Key West and it was fine, but everybody got evacuated from Fort Wilderness and a couple other places. I can't remember. Obviously, the bungalows in Polly and a few other places. So um, there were no hotel rooms. So we extended our stay and we had to go off property because there was nothing available in any resort anywhere. So we
Wow.
had to go off property. But that's really the only time that that a hurricane or an evacuation affected us, and that you can't even really count that because there were people that were there for that time and had to get moved around. Now, luckily for a lot of people, they were in Fort Wilderness and they got moved to Wilderness Lodge or some other, deluxe resort. So that was pretty cool for them, I'm sure.
This is why I love Dana around. She always comes up with great questions. We love you, Dana. What are ways you can take advantage of inclement weather? For example, park attendants must dip dramatically and sometimes almost instantly. Do folks leave and stay gone? Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that do the second part of the question. Definitely take advantage of it. We were saying that earlier that when people leave the parks, I would say at least quarter of the people in attendance at the park, when it starts coming down pretty good, they head for the exits. Will some come back? I think it depends on the time of day. If you're getting, a 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock downpour and then it clears by like 4, you could probably count on the park getting busier again in the
Hmm.
evening. But if it's happening at like 5 or 6, I think it will stay dead.
Yeah.
So those are great questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say certainly take advantage of that. The lower wait times, the park's not being as crowded. So yeah, certainly for me, I would take advantage of it. Yep.
So, just circling back to Animal Kingdom quickly, just don't do it. Just don't do it, right? You can't. I mean, you go in there for the safari,
Right.
but some of the best safaris, I would highly recommend a safari after the rain. All the animals come out. You have the chance at one of the best safaris you'll ever see after the rain. The animals love the rain. So
Hmm.
definitely don't miss out on that. I learned that by experience.
Hmm.
I asked a cast member once. It had rained, and then I was like, "Is this going to be any good?" It just rained. She goes, "Oh no, the animals love the rain," and I think we saw some crazy things that night. uh, Spencer was staying at the Poly in March of 2020, and it was during the very last day that they closed all the parks due to COVID.
Mm.
Oh, that's where you were. Okay. Is it one of those life events like everybody knows where they were the day Disney closed? The cast was remarkable and included character meet and greets for folks. Yep. That couldn't get home. That's pretty cool. So, anything else about the rain?
No, I think that's it. Unless anybody in chat has a question. Um, Spencer says his last message was blocked.
Oh, really?
I don't I don't see that, Spencer. So yeah, I would, like I said, certainly depends on now. If you're there for 14 days, like folks that come over from the UK, I always find that a lot in the Facebook Disney groups. They tend to come for 2 weeks or so, and then yeah, you can afford to switch your days if you needed to. But uh, if I'm there, because we're normally only there for maybe 5 days, I'm just going to go for it. Oh, that's a good question. So Josh R says, "Are there any Disney hotels with indoor pools?" I don't know of any.
I'm going to say no. I mean, you would think about that, right, though?
Yeah.
Should there be? I mean, you wouldn't expect every resort to do that, but it might be nice to have maybe a couple of
Yeah.
resorts that have indoor pools.
Yeah.
I think this could have been when we were moving down to Florida. Had to be. And we stayed at a hotel. Can't remember where we stopped for that particular one, but we stayed somewhere. I almost feel like it was Virginia. And the pool was in and out. Like you
Oh,
could access the pool from inside the hotel, but you could like swim under this wall and be outside.
okay.
Very
I've
different.
seen that. I don't know if it was that hotel, but I have seen that in another hotel.
Purple Pleasure says Gimbrella should make an appearance on the Diz Pod. If I would have thought of that sooner, I would have done that. But Gimbrella is in that room right there.
That's right.
So
Look, I can make it rain.
It's rainy day Lawrence, everybody.
And it did. I think it stopped raining outside. Yes, on cue, I had live props. It is actually raining outside.
Nice. Crew It Up says that there are not any indoor pools, but they do have hot tubs for the bungalows that are covered. So I put a link in the chat, everybody. That's from September 2022, and that is the day that we actually streamed on the day before the hurricane.
Mm.
So if you all want to see what that was like that day, I haven't seen that in the longest time. David, shout out to David SC who just sent me that information. I'm going to send that in for the film as well. So you're probably going to have a weather segment in the documentary at this point. That's 3 great ones.
Well, and that makes sense, because it's about, streaming and what you go through when you're streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got it scheduled, you're pretty much not. Now, I mean, you have flipped a couple, or in one case or 2 cases maybe that I know of, canceled because of the weather. But for the most part, you're going. And I know people, appreciate it. 2 weeks ago when you did Magic in the rain all day, I know people appreciated it. And you may have been the only one live that night.
I think we were.
Yeah. If people wanted a Disney fix, they were coming to Living in Diz, and they saw you and the family out there in the rain.
And the rain was only in the forefront of the conversation was really when we were talking about rides once we got into the day, because it wasn't, we were navigating, and we were navigating according to how bad the rain was, and we had a ton of fun. So you can have a lot of fun at Disney parks, most Disney parks, in the rain. You just have to have that strategy. I hope people take these strategies that we came up with and use them so that you stay in the parks more and enjoy them, and don't let the rain wash you out of there.
Right.
I love when people come up to me though and say that we've taught them things. So if time goes by and you run into me, let me know that you took our rainy day tips. That would be pretty cool. Clara Murphy wants us to do a 10 challenge restaurant. Can we do this weekend? That's a lot of restaurants. Clara Murphy, you have my word. I will, if you fund that, I will do 10 restaurants.
10
Disney
challenge. What is I need clarification on that. What is a 10 challenge restaurant?
I would imagine you'd have to go eat at 10 restaurants.
That's what
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
That's a lot of food, even for me.
Tonight is Powerball or Mega Millions, so there you go. Just go ahead and win that.
And Gilnack says it was still a great stream in the rain. I think so. I think we had a fun time. And Alicia says, I truly appreciate when you stream in the rain. If I ever cancel a stream due to weather, then you all should just assume that it's that bad, because it really takes a lot.
Yeah.
What is the window time typically that WDW will call the fireworks show? I assume they don't start unless there's a weather break period. So, of course, they monitor the thunder and lightning, and if they know something is within 5 miles of the park?
Oh, I don't know the
I think it's 5 miles, and they won't do anything until that's clear. I don't think it can. I think it resets to 20 minutes. Like if it thunders or lightnings, and if anybody thinks I'm wrong and you know that I'm wrong, you can say so. I think they reset the time. So you could be down to 1 minute to go, and if you get a flash, you have to reset the timer to 20 minutes again.
Got it.
I don't know where I got that from, but I feel confident in it at least.
Sounds right.
So I don't know what the window is, that they wait, that they'll call. I will say that when I was out with Samantha Carpin several months ago, when we watched Happily Ever After in the rain together, we killed some time in some of the shops on Main Street. And if that show was scheduled for 9 that night, didn't it kind of go off at 10? I mean, it was close.
There were some,
I feel like.
There's been some late ones, and they'll continue to make the announcement that it's been delayed. Been delayed. The only thing is, it's the same voice that tells you that it's canceled. So that's always kind of jarring because you think she's going to come on and announce it's being delayed, and then she says it's been canceled. Go
Oh,
home.
yeah, they fake you out sometimes. They really do.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Uh,
0 for 2 for the last two streams, at Magic Kingdom as well, for seeing Tink fly.
yeah, yeah. That's another one of those experiences that will change because of the weather. So they might do the fireworks, but Tink won't fly.
I did make a reference, and I did show it on camera, the level of how hard the flags were blowing on Main Street. And I said, let me try to take a mental note on how hard those are blowing. So on a clear night, we can kind of get a better idea if Tink's going to fly or not. So she definitely did. And it's funny, those flags did calm down quite a bit. But so they might decide for Tinkerbell way in advance. Who knows? They might look at advanced weather and just say, nope, it's going to be, 5-mile-an-hour winds, whatever the cutoff is, and you're not flying tonight. That's a great question to ask Disney.
Yeah.
I like what Trish here said. This is what it's all about, Trish. That's amazed is. She can't believe we're doing this topic. It's great. We've gotten some good feedback here live on doing this topic. That's awesome. So her husband will be in an EVC all week. Obviously, they can get wet. I would recommend an umbrella for him to navigate around in. He'll have to be skillful. One hand on the wheel, one hand on the umbrella. And I think you'll do okay. I wouldn't sweat that too much. It is what it is. I would wear, if you can, I would wear some shorts that can get wet and dry easily. Wear clothes that can dry easily. And wear some shoes that you don't mind getting wet. And you're going to enjoy the heck out of your vacation. But if you have any other questions, you can ask Trish. And if you have any questions later on, you can always email us. What is it? At thedizpod@gmail.com?
Thedizpod@gmail.com. Excuse me. I didn't mention this when we were talking about equipment to bring. If you have a stroller, make sure that you buy a stroller rain cover. Because, little Finley did not like the seat being wet. And I would bet for the EVC, you probably also have a similar seat cover for that, so that if you have to park it in the rain, not under a cover, then at least you can cover the seat, and the seat will not be drenched when you come off of Pirates or what have you. So I would look at a cover to see if they have that. And if they don't have one particularly for that vehicle, look for a larger stroller cover. I bet it would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, good advice on that. Anne says that I could eat at 10 restaurants. It is a 5-mile rule.
Enjoying his last day of being 15 years old.
Oh yeah, Neil, happy early birthday! Everybody wish Neil happy birthday. He's popping in the chat. It's his birthday tomorrow. He won't make the Zoom call, which means the Zoom call will be about 2 hours long. And no, Neil is my hero and my mentor.
Neil, where are you going to eat tomorrow?
It's got to be Boma.
Boma?
I feel like he lives at Boma. We're gonna have to go do the bread service though for the stream, so I maybe look for that. What I should probably do pretty soon is figure something out where if it's a 2-stream week, meaning during the week, a Monday and a Thursday, do a park maybe Monday, and then maybe Thursday, do a restaurant here and there. Do a different restaurant review.
Okay.
And I think we should do Boma. I know. Is it Boma that has the bread service? Or is it Sanaa? I don't know.
Somebody in chat will have to help us out.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. He says it's another day. That's what we all say when we get past 50.
That's right.
Just another day. Neil still feels like he's 20.
Since I'm not there yet, so I don't know.
Perhaps a golf umbrella because it's larger for the EVC. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has a
That's
cast
right.
member ever shared with you the qualifications a lady must be to meet flying tank? I know she has to be tiny. I just don't know what the qualifications are. I
Hmm,
do know from an excellent source that there are times that they just push her out the window.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Yep. It's just like, hey, go. And they just push her out. Whoa. I love some of the private stories I've gotten from Imagine. I got a guy who was on the Imagine. He worked. He did. It's kind of weird. I just call him Imagineer. He did so much to help build these things, but he wasn't officially an Imagineer. But they all went to him when certain things needed to be solved. And we were talking about Test Track earlier. I've said this story before, but I like it. When they were testing Test Track, I don't know if I've told you this. They needed to get the right speed down. How fast can we go to keep these cars on the track? And they were going so fast at first that I want to say it's that turn before you see the speed
Okay.
screen
Hmm.
that they were just shooting off the track. Woo! And landing down below.
Okay.
So they had to crank that down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Just
Uh-huh.
turn it down a little bit.
I'll say one more quick one. Star Tours, when the park would close, sometimes Imagineers would get on the outside of the vehicle and strap themselves to it and see or see how long they could stay on.
I love that there are stories like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The things that go on that we don't realize, right? I'll say
Yeah.
one more. I had a friend that was a airline stewardess, and when they would have to fly a plane empty, they would do things like the pilot would bring the plane nose up, straight up 90 degrees. Crew might be here. And then they would slide down the aisles and things
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness.
Yeah. Disney Dina says you can put a poncho over the ECV. However, it'll still be wet. Tush when you sit back down. So wear pants that are comfortable with having a wet tushy.
Yeah, you could get moisture wicking pants.
That's what I like. Moisture wicking shorts or pants.
Yep.
And undergarments.
Yep.
You don't want to wear the tighty whities if you have nice moisture wicking shorts. It defeats the purpose. You'll be wet all day.
So not a weather tip, but a health tip here from Dana. Squirrels love to eat snacks out of the strollers. So make sure if you do leave something in a stroller or an EVC, make sure to make sure that it's covered and covered well. I've witnessed them going to town on some popcorn. So yeah.
And just to checking in from our technical team, crew wants to remind us that 90 degrees is straight up.
Thank you, crew.
Fully agree. Sanaa bread service at Sanaa, says Spencer. We stop in to go orders all the time. Yeah, because Spencer lives in Animal Kingdom pretty much.
Mm.
I think he has his own dedicated gate. Just slides it open. Good night, copies.
He's got a transmitter like the garage door opener on his car. Yeah.
Are we ready to jump over to Inside the Parks?
Yes, Courtney, Finley's favorite ride is Rise of the Resistance.
All right, let's go to Inside the Parks, where we talk about our adventures in the parks this week. All right, where was I?
It's funny, I was looking that up because I didn't remember.
We just talked about it.
So
Animal Kingdom.
Yes, Animal Kingdom.
So this could be fairly quick because we touched on some things. Went to Animal Kingdom and so much fun. It's like when I go there, it's then that I realize, wow, we should do this more often. It is just fun to walk around, and I'm not just saying this because he's in chat. If he's still in chat, but so much fun, and everybody will agree to have Neil there for Animal Kingdom. I swear I just sit back, relax, and point the camera because Neil knows so much about the animals apparently, and he's interesting to listen to, and it's great to just follow along. And when we have time in between rides, go to Gorilla Falls,
Mm-hmm.
go to the different areas, the birds. It was just a really relaxed, fun day. So the weather was perfect. Always like to try to see not animal, but Lion King live, but weren't able to get in there for time constraints. We made it our mission to find the kangaroos. I really didn't think we were going to find the kangaroos, but we did due to our perseverance. So that was great to have found them. And I think it's the first time I've ever seen kangaroos in my life. So Dina says great interactions with knowledgeable cast members there. Oh, and that cast member where
Oh,
the gorillas
yes.
were.
Yes. Yeah, that was great.
Talk about infusing yourself into the stream. Like he like slipped right in front of the camera and just kept going. And then when I thought he was done, I'm like, oh, he's saying more. Oh, he's not done yet. He was just really happy to share the information. I don't know how much of it he just wanted to be on stream and how much he wanted to share, but he seems to really love his job, and we learned some things from him, so that was pretty cool.
And
Anything else?
and really, I mean, even Neil talking about the fish, like had a whole thing on the fish, and I mean, that was great. That was like having a cast member right there. That was
I
really
sent
cool.
Neil the assignment for the stream the night before, and it shows that he studied. Teacher
Yeah,
Neil.
that was really good. I was happy that you did Animal Kingdom. We don't get to see Animal Kingdom a lot, and you got there in a good time to have done a lot of stuff there. So that was great.
We really did. We really pulled off just about most things we wanted to do. It was quite busy. We were able to do Flight of Passage, and we did run out of time. We thought we had to strategize. We did go eat. It's the first time I've eaten on stream in a while over at Flame Tree. Flame Tree was really good. Gonna have to hit Flame Tree up a little more often. I got the fries with the coleslaw and what was it? The pulled pork barbecue, which was really good. Neil handed me the similarly tasting like turkey legs piece of chicken. It wasn't. It was fine. You know, it's weird. It was better to eat that there, knowing kind of what it was, but I just don't like those turkey legs.
Mm.
They're not the turkey legs that I don't like smoked. I think we've determined that I don't like smoked meats so much.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget to like today's podcast, says Catherine. She's not wrong about that. Alicia said we had our personal guide on Saturday.
Yeah.
Anything else that happened at Animal Kingdom? We were able to pull off Dinosaur.
Twice.
And if anybody didn't see that stream and you would like to see Dinosaur with the lights on, we brought you Dinosaur with the lights on, which was really weird. We were going through it, and we were happy to be able to stream that all the way through, and the second stream was way better than the first.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. Like, we're going through, and Dinosaur is a rough ride. I know the rougher the better because you want that effect, but at the same time, I think they could lighten it a little bit. It is rough. It is a very rough ride. So we're going through it, and all of a sudden, boom, like we hit a wall.
Mm-hmm.
The lights came on, and the vehicle stopped dead in its tracks, which was crazy in itself. But get to sit there and look around, and not a lot to see. Not that they have to furnish it much, because there's dark areas where you don't see, so they don't have to do much. So we kind of stopped in an area like that looked a lot just like a warehouse, a hangar bay, and just had some things hanging from the ceiling here and there. So very unimpressive, and but that was cool. You always want to see dark rides with the lights on, and we've been doing that lately. We had the lights come on at Haunted, and we get to see about 300 pieces of gum on the floor. So, and then it got fired up. So that was good. And we came back around. That was the first ride. I was like, one more time, one more time. We didn't really get the whole ride. So he's like, go for it. Interesting how the rides reset too.
Yeah.
They couldn't just let us go through. I thought he was gonna say unbuckle and come out and go around again,
Right.
but he just said, the seats must have a sensor that the people got up
Mm-hmm.
and more people are allowed at that point. So we just had to stand up and sit back down too. Oh yeah, and I got my own ride commentary. I tried. I don't go on dinosaur enough to really remember all of it, but definitely tried to. I think we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it. I said something else too. What's up, JD Pridge? Good to see you here. He says, not at 8K. Oh, he's talking to Purple Pleasure. Was that it for AK? Did I miss anything at AK besides that? Oh,
Uh,
the shirt. That shirt was really nice. The new Animal Kingdom button down.
yeah.
I think Tammy really wanted me to get it. Uh, I didn't end up getting it, but I looked at it quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I think more than me too. That seems like a Lawrence shirt more to me, but it's a nice
I'm gonna
shirt.
have to look back at the shows to see why that's a Lawrence shirt as opposed to a Corey shirt. I think I know. I'll go a
It,
little crazier, I think, than you will.
yeah, it's multicolored.
Yeah, Catherine loves
It-
the Animal Kingdom shirt that I have now.
ah, and then we jumped over to Disney Springs. Disney Springs is always a good time, and we made the first portion food, and then the second portion all shopping.
Hmm.
Not on purpose, but so I thought it was funny because we've bragged about Summer House. I think the secret is out on Summer House now. Unless there was an odd weekend, I would want to see it again before I'm convinced of that. But they had very minimal cookies, almost nothing.
It was a busy weekend, one of the busiest weekends. So I think the other problem was that they're new, so they don't have history to decide on how much they have to make for this really busy weekend, right? Like Christmas is going to be tough for them because they don't know what to bake because they haven't had that experience. So I think that's what it was. I would bet if you go back, in 2 weeks or something like that, it'll be different again.
April wants to know what's better, Summer House or Homecoming. I have honestly never eaten a meal at Summer House yet,
Hmm.
but Homecoming is amazing. It depends what you get, but Homecoming is amazing. And I will say, I'm trying to talk Tammy into doing her Disney birthday meal, which would be on a Saturdays. Start it in the morning at Homecoming and do breakfast at
Mm.
Homecoming. That is by far the best breakfast I've ever had. So they had minimal cookies, but let me tell you, I bought the creamsicle cookie. 5 out of 5.
Mm.
I almost finished the entire cookie on Sunday, and I finished it within 2 minutes. Like I couldn't stop. That thing is good. That thing was good. I didn't try the other one that I got. I don't know what I got. Maybe the lemon one. I'll have to check. But here's the funny thing. So we've been making fun of Gideon's and the 4 hour waits and waiting in the queue and the cookies aren't that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am the only family member that will eat a Gideon's cookie. Oh, Tammy's going to eat some of my s'mores. You can have all of it, honey. You can have all of it. I already took a couple bites out of it. So, yeah, we bought that s'mores on Saturday. She knows what she's looking for. She's like, let's go into Candy Cauldron. I just
Mm.
want to look around. She knew what she was looking for. She was looking for those s'mores. And then she had a good point. She goes, how is it that I can find these s'mores, these Rice Krispie s'mores? So the Rice Krispie s'mores is a thick brick of Rice Krispie treat, graham cracker, marshmallows, and chocolate. It is really good. So she found those there. But she's like, why is it that you can find them there and you can find them at the big top in Magic Kingdom, but you can't find them in the confectionery?
Mm.
The confectionery should be the granddaddy of them all. And I think you should be able to find most things there. I guess it wouldn't be great if you had everything there from Disney's standpoint because everybody would go there.
I think they
Um,
might do that. The big top uh, snacks are very Like the popcorn that you got at confectionery. I was very surprised to see that there because that's a lot of stuff going on. It's more of a big top type of product. That's what I would think. That's why they kind of separate the two, maybe. I don't know.
JD thinks that Gideon's cookies are better, but let me tell you this. So the consensus is, Gideon's cookies are dry. A lot of people don't like the salt that is put on a lot of the cookies, and the weight turns people off. But those two cookies we got from Gideon's. I wish I would have bought more.
Mm,
Samantha said to us in the mod chat earlier today that the strawberry cookie that came out for Valentine's Day was the best cookie she's ever had on property. And I said, you know what? I probably have to agree with you.
mm,
It's sneaky. It's a sneaky strawberry cookie because you look at it. I had to really stare at it. I'm like, did we get the right cookie? Because it just looks like a darker chocolate chip cookie. But as soon as you bite into it, it's instant strawberry. I'm on this strawberry kick now. After going to the confectionery and getting the Sweetheart strawberry popcorn mix that tastes like Nesquik from the days of being a kid, to now that strawberry cookie. I'm on a strawberry kick. So that was really good. And then the cinnamon cookie with acho, if I said that right, and sriracha, no, cayenne with cinnamon sprinkles on it was another 5 out of 5. So really, really good. Really, really good. So JD brings up a point. He's talking about Everglazed. I had to talk to one of the employees there so that they could pass on something to their supervisor. And it was this. We don't go to Everglades much, but we went. We wanted to grab a donut for the next morning, and there was like one tray full of one thing, and you had about 2 or 3 donuts. It was only 9 o'clock, and
yeah.
Disney Springs closes at 11:30. And this happens to us all the time. So we don't really get Everglazed after like an Animal Kingdom day because there's just not enough. Yes. Tammy said Saturday snacks were wiped out. So I said to her, first I muted because I was like, I don't want everybody to have to hear this, but it's a legit statement. But then I told you all what I said anyway. I just said to her, Voodoo Donuts over at Universal at midnight still has a full complement of donuts.
Hmm.
And she's like, oh, you just went there. And I'm like, yeah, I did just go there. And I'm like, but I'm serious. I'm like, just let your supervisor know that people are noticing this.
Yeah.
Because when we do go, occasionally, they just don't have much of a selection. She's like, oh, well, it was busy. I'm like, yeah, you got to know. They've been around for a bit. So we didn't get anything over there. But those cookies. So it was funny, right? I'll just finish up with Gideon's. I was making fun of Gideon's for some fun and all that for the wait times. And we just happened to walk by Gideon's because Aaron had to run into Raglan Road and walked by. And the Gideon's worker was like, oh, hey, it's only a 10-minute wait, 15-minute wait. And I was like, oh. So I jumped in the line and I was like, I don't even know why I'm in this line. Why am I in this line? I don't even know. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I can get a peanut butter cold brew because the peanut butter cold brew is unbelievable. I don't know if JD's ever had the peanut butter cold brew at Everglades, but Neil raves about it. Did I ever end up getting that? I don't know if I ended up trying it. How bad is that? I try so many things. I don't even remember if I ended up trying it. Tammy, did I ever get the peanut butter cold brew at Everglades? I think I did. And if I did, I didn't think it was as good as Gideon's. But I planned on getting the cold brew, and then I looked at the special menu and saw the cinnamon cookie. And I love to try things on stream for you all that are different. So I just got those 2 cookies, and they were amazing. So I'm not going to rag on Gideon so much anymore for the cookies themselves. I even got my favorite one, though, is a pistachio. And the family doesn't like them, but the pistachio Gideon's cookie is really good. Oh, JG doesn't like peanut butter. Sarah Dash says Everglades has that purple ubi donut. I love the purple donut over at Voodoo. It tastes like if anybody's ever had the Alexander the Grape hard candies, the donut tastes like that. I think you did, but Gideon's is always best, she said. Yeah. Yep. Oh, pistachio is Dana's jam. Dana mentioned something. So that was that. I'll get to your question in a second, Dana, before we wrap things up. So that was pretty much it. I don't think I'm leaving anything else out, right? For that Saturday's.
No.
Okay. And not Sunday, Mondays at Magic was fine, right? Nothing.
Yeah, pretty typical. You did get to see Samantha. She hung out for a little while, so that was nice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
hadn't seen her in a while. I didn't even know she was gonna be there. Uh,
I didn't either, so she surprised me. I
yeah,
knew she was on property, but I was pleasantly surprised, and we started hanging out. So we were getting in the groove, and then I was like, "All right, what are we doing next?" And she's like, "Actually, I think I'm gonna go back to the hotel now." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I just went off on my own and had a good time. It was fun. Uh, so let's see if anybody has any more rainy day questions. We'll give you a couple minutes to put that in the chat, and then we'll wrap up the podcast. I always hate leaving you all, whether it's in
hmm
the parks or the podcast. I just can't bring myself to stand in that line for a cookie, says April. Nothing is worth waiting that long for when it comes to food, but sometimes you can catch a wait time that's lower.
hmm
If they're doing the queue, see, here's the tip on that though. If you're willing to do the Gideon's queue, and even if it's a 4 hour wait, just plan on being at Disney Springs. I mean, most people don't run in and out anyway.
Right.
You can
That's
you can
right.
spend 4 hours there. You can be like, we're going for Gideon's cookies, and we want to see Disney Springs, so let's get in the queue. Let's go get some dinner. Let's walk around. Let's shop. You can easily kill time without being bored in Disney Springs.
Yep.
Spencer says he's not a fan of underbaked cookies at Gideon's. He's obviously in the minority. I wanted to touch, while we're waiting to see if there's any other possible questions, I wanted to touch on this. So we should probably discuss this for a moment. Do you know about this, Lawrence? Because I only learned about it yesterday afternoon.
I want to say I heard something, but I did not go read into it, so I don't know much about it.
So a doctor from New York had a severe allergy.
hmm
It was one or two allergy issues, and went to go eat at Raglan Road, and mentioned according to the story, mentioned multiple times about her allergies. And yes, it was dairy and nuts. That's right, Allison.
Mm.
And according to the story, they made it very, very clear to the waiter about these issues. And when the food came out, uh, there were only flags on a few things. And when food is flagged, it's supposed to tell you that it is definitely uh, good to go if you have
Right.
allergies.
Right.
And they questioned the waiter and said, "Wait a minute, those don't have flags on it." And he's like, "No, I assure you that these are fine." So apparently they weren't. So can't really get into speculation as to who is at fault
Sure.
in all of that, but just wanted to bring it up because it was interesting. I had NBC News out of New York, my contact guy, contact me yesterday. He texted me and asked
hmm
me if I was willing to go on the 6 o'clock news, NBC New York, and talk about that.
Hmm.
I almost sent you you and Neil, my guys who I check things with, my team, and Jeff too. It's kind of like my silent team that
hmm
I run checks through, and I thought about it on my own first, and I'm like, no, think about this for yourself. And I'm proud of myself that I went through the process. I'm like, okay, I can't go on national. I mean, that would make national news.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in New York City and DC. I said I certainly can't go on with what I got going on in Disney
Yeah.
and say anything negative about Disney. So I'm like, how would I approach this? And I would have just approached it that, thousands of people every year eat at Disney. I eat all the time. I have friends that have allergies. And all I've witnessed is, when you go on the app will ask you if you have allergies. So you can note it there. And when you sit down, I mean, I've seen many times where the chef literally comes out to talk to you
Right.
about the allergens. So that would be the only thing I could attest to. And so anyway, they ended up not using me because when I responded back to him, they talked to a doctor and they talked to someone else
Mm.
about it. So there's that. But sad, very sad.
Yeah, yeah, certainly, certainly is. And Catherine had mentioned that she even had her EpiPen, and it still um,
They
didn't.
found high levels of that stuff, the dairy and
Yeah,
the nuts in her body. I mean, um, and whoever's at fault, that's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's dad.
that's right.
We got to feel for them too,
Yeah, yeah,
because that could have been any one of us that now they have to live with that.
right. And do we know, is that a Disney owned restaurant?
Aaron is in chat. Aaron loves
Oh, yeah, he
Raglan
would
Road.
know. Yeah.
Do you know if that's a Disney owned restaurant?
Oh, Disney Dina says it is not. I didn't think it was. And I'm on their website and I can't find anything, but the website kind of points me to it. It is not owned by Disney.
So do we think this will hurt Raglan Road in any way in the immediate future here, or will people just kind of
I
disregard
think
that?
the immediate future, yes. And then I think it will kind of subside.
Yeah, like anything else, people will forget, but I think that people will take note. I have to say, if me or any of my family members, and it's sad for Raglan Road because it's one incident, but I would be afraid to go.
I can't blame you.
I mean, Disney has to do the right thing, right? They have to. You can't employ. I don't think you can employ. It's interesting. Nobody will ever know, but unless you're close to the situation. But I feel like the people involved would probably have to be let go too, or maybe you shift them to a non-food, assignment. But I don't think you can keep somebody on that makes a mistake like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my mom used to be a CNA in one of her careers, and a lady fell in her presence and she was fired. Not that that's right either. That's not right either, but
yeah. Yeah.
But I was thinking that last night too. I'm like, they're probably going to have to. Yeah, Aaron has food allergies. I don't think Aaron's food allergies are life threatening, but I don't want to say, or you could say Aaron, but still, they're food allergies.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, they'll be extra careful. There may not be any safer time to go eat at Raglan Road at this point because of all the caution.
That's very true. So when I was in retail, there was a huge thing about expired baby food, and our store found a few of them that had expired. Not like egregious, but there were a few. And I remember we were all there, all the assistant managers, the co-manager, and even the store manager. We were all on our hands and knees going through every single baby food and making sure we did rotation, what they call first in, first out. So that was probably the best time to go buy baby food from that store. So yeah, you might be right about that.
We want to acknowledge Steve and Tony for dropping an LID gift, and that was picked up by Abner Claudio. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is a $5 membership in Worth, and it's good for 30 days. You get your name highlighted in green. You get the badge next to your name. You get the exclusive use of all the emojis, and you also get the members-only podcast that happened just before this one. And you get your name in the credits at the end of future live streams. So congratulations, and blast the chat for Steve and Tony, as we are always appreciative of their friendship. Family ship. Allison, put that in the dictionary. Family ship. And I don't know if we have Stephanie Keel here to fact check that and see if that's a word, but I don't think it is. Family ship. All right. I think that we've said it all and done it all, if you agree.
I do. We do need to run our sponsors.
What?
Sponsors?
What? Fine. We'll do that. We'll be right back, everybody.
Looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard? Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC. He is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the vacation home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with him today. Your dream home is just a click away. If you're planning your next Disney vacation, consider booking with Your Magical Adventures Await. Claudia is a Disney travel agent who can create a magical adventure to any Disney park worldwide, including Walt Disney World in Florida, Disney Cruise Lines, Alani Resort in Hawaii, and guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney. She can also plan Universal Studios trips. The best part? If you book with her, her services are free. Disney pays her to help you create a seamless, magical adventure. Her availability is unmatched, and you can contact her Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make your magical planner Claudia interested today from Your Magical Adventures Await by calling her at 956-455-8049. You can also follow her on Instagram, all one word. Winter is not too far away, and you'll soon be needing to bundle up. Keep your head warm and stylish with the Arctic Fox collection of winter hats. If you look,
So I let that run for a minute because I thought I replaced that. I finished it. Okay. That was an old sponsor, everybody.
I
Didn't I even tell you that I replaced it? He's dying. He's cracking up. Did you take it out by accident? Is that what you're going to tell me?
no, that would be great, but no, that's not what happened. So the poll just closed, and the poll was: do you think that Corey edited the sponsor video before the show?
Oh, no, I did. I now I got to go back and look. And I thought I loaded it in. So I'm like, let's play it and we're going to let it go.
I love it. So 55% had faith that you had done it, and 44% said no. Now I knew the answer because I could see the show.
You set me up. Thank you, my 55 percenters. I love you all. But also, I love what's the math going to be on that? 45 percenters?
Yeah.
Love the 45 percenters because you know me so much. You know me so well. But I put the work in. All I can think of is I tried to do that on Saturday maybe, and I had some difficulty with it and didn't get back to it on Sunday. Yeah, but I thought I did. I thought I even messaged you and said, the new ad is all set. Did you get a text like that?
No, I did text you and say, hey, don't forget that. And then
and I was like, done.
The poll was Catherine's idea.
Okay. I think that's revenge for something. I think she owed me for something.
Oh, that was great.
Darn. Now when we're done, I got to go back and look. Like, what happened with that? All right. So thank you, everybody, for watching live. We do this live because we do it for you, and had a great time. What a great topic. It was really, it went well.
Yeah.
I thought we covered quite a bit. Again, if anybody has any other questions, you can always put that question in the comments or email us, but definitely comment on the podcast when we're done. It really helps the channel and helps the podcast if you comment after that. And we do answer those comments back. I love doing that. And yeah, we'll be live again, as always, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. And our next live on the channel is just in 3 days. We will be live, Tammy and Jacob. Jill will be unavailable that day. And where are we going to be? We are going to be at Flower and Garden Festival. So I can go look at this shirt. That's $125.
Yeah, buy two.
I'll buy two.
Yeah.
It's on me. It's on me. But yeah, I'm excited for Anne for me to see it. For sure. Disney Dina says, I love watching live. You all crack me up. And I just feel like we just had this was the most casual conversation I think that we've ever done on the podcast. Like this, we didn't do a whole lot of like studying, fact checking, any of that. I think we just kind of went off the cuff and had a great conversation and led to the
Yeah.
more serious subject at the end there.
Yep.
So another good podcast. Maybe this will bump us up to number 6 in the world.
Well, oh yeah, that's right. We're back at 7. Sorry, forgot.
Yeah, we're climbing again.
So Catherine said that was for the dirty shirt comment.
Ha! Well deserved. Well deserved. See you all tomorrow night on the Zoom call, says Ann. Yes, any of our members, if you have not yet tried the Zoom call, bump up at least one time from, the sky, not the Skyliner, the monorail. No, let's try the other ones. What are the other ones? Minivan and Magical Express. You bump up to the Skyliner at least on Patreon or on the LID, and it's so much fun. Everybody's excited in chat. We'll talk for like probably a good 3 hours. We'll chit chat and hang out.
Neil won't be
real,
there, but
Neil
Dana
won't be
will.
there. Yes, Dana's going to be there. I'm so excited. I mean, I do this from my bedroom. Tammy pretty much like lays down right here on the bed, and we do the Zoom call, and I stand here, and very, very casual from everyone's home. We can see everybody like this. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, $125, Aaron.
Mm.
Yep. Thank you for an
Aaron,
awesome
my
podcast
three.
tonight. All right. We love you all. And so, how are we doing this ending?
So, you know how we just always have trouble figuring out what to say at the end? Well, I've decided we will either say something that somebody else said, or in this case, I'm going to let somebody else quote. But we're going to end the show with quotes from now on. So this first one's actually going to be an audio. I won't say a quote, but it'll be an audio clip. So for now,
I'm Corey. Is that what
we're so well rehearsed. And I'm Lawrence. And we'll see you next time on the Diz Pod.
You're the best audience in the whole world. Take care of yourself. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
People living of any allowed to come out of hiding